Hi there, this is Abhishek, and in this video, I will talk about the security settings at the document level. In my previous videos related to security, I have mentioned how you can specify some of the setting within the script so that you have the required level of security user types. But in this video, I will not going to write any of the script, but I will show you how you can set some of the settings or the pre-built settings within the QlikView document, which is at a document. That means it will going to apply at all the sheets which you are having or at the document level. So for that, let's go into the settings, go to document. Alternatively, you can use the shortcut Control Alt T to open the document properties. Once you open this document property, then your one of the sheet, security sheet, is where user privileges has been mentioned. So these are the privileges that either you can allow or deny on this check mark. Check mark which is being checked is saying that this is the user privileges that you want to give it to your end, and those which are not checked or blank, that means these are the features or the settings you don't want the end user to see it. So right now I am logged in as an admin. That's why I'm able to see what settings or what user privileges has been given for normal users and which settings have been not. So let's go and very briefly about each of the settings so that you can get a good idea about what they are. So the first one is reduce data. So reduce data is a feature which is a file menu to reduce the data based on the selections that you have made. So generally, it is advisable to not to give this information to your or the access to your end user. But if you that the user should be empowered for reducing the data so that they can further pass the application to user which is one level or two level down to their level, then they can reduce the data for them, apply the proper security. Similarly, in add sheets will be allowing the end user to add the sheets. Like here in this case, I have the main sheet. So within there is an option of add sheet, which they can then use and add the sheets. So generally, it is fine to add the sheets because they may want to create some kind of a custom metric for their particular or analysis for the specific reason. Edit script. Edit script is, as you know, will allowing the end user to make some changes into the script, and it is generally not advisable to give access to this edit script. Similarly, the reload will going the entire document again, and it is also advisable to not give this user access to the end user. Partial reload, similar to reload, but partial reload feature I have mentioned in one of my previous videos where you can use the keyword like add or replace. You can add the new data that is being added to the existing sheet which you are receiving from some source, or replace the old data with the new data based on the that you have got. So again, it is not advisable to give this feature. As an administrator, to have this feature in your hand, and because having this will going to load all the data by bypassing the all the security that you have implemented. Similarly, additive is something where you specify macros and all. So if you have some of the macros for doing the automation of the task, then you can specify really want to give the access or not. And advisable or recommendation is to not allowing the user to edit the module. After this, you have the saved document that you want your end user to allow the saved document or not. So recommendation is to not allowing the saved document because sometimes it may happen that it may replace the existing document with the reduced data. The next is access document properties. So access document properties is something like you want to allow the users to access this property window. Even if you allow then also in that case they won't be able to see some of the some of the tabs like security, sheets, scrambling, etc. When even if you have allowed them. So after that you have promote or demote sheet. So there is no harm in allowing the user to promote or demote sheet because they will going to adjust the sheet structure. But sometimes it is something you don't want to allow that because based on some requirements and the requirements that you have gathered, you have set the structure of how you should move from one sheet to another. So if that is the case, do not allow your end user to promote or demote the sheet. Allow export. So every table, chart, or metric that you create has export to Excel functionality. If you want to allow that according to your user needs, then you can check this setting. If no, then don't allow that. There is no harm. It is simply based on how you want your users to be enabled. Similarly, allow print. So if you don't want to allow the user to export into, you can allow them to print the data at least, so that they are able to put that thing into a meeting or a presentation whenever they are having. Access tab row properties. So this tab row properties, if you want to allow the users up to a very specific user needs, but generally it is not advisable because they are not much technical, and you have set some properties based on the requirement that you have. Macro override security, which is something like if there are macros, then they give some messages to the users about it's harmful or not. So if you want to allow users to bypass all the security settings to execute the macro, then you should enable. But recommendation is to disable it. Show all sheets and objects. So again, it is up to you. This is how, if you want to hide or you want to show all the sheets, then you can mention it. So in this case, if there are any sheets or objects that you have hidden it conditionally, enabling this setting will allow them to view all of that information by going into the sheet properties. So after that you have show progress for hidden script. Definitely you don't want to allow that because hidden script contains some of the very user sensitive data and all. So recommendation is, yeah, you don't allow the users to view that. Allow user to reload. That is something we discussed earlier, that we should not allow the user to reload the document. So that will going to create issues if data is not there, or messing up with the already existing information that you have. So it is recommended that you should not allow the user to reload. Admin override security, self-explanatory, that you want the end user to allow the admin, or basically the admin, the user who is having the admin uh, security privileges, you want them to override the security or not. So in this case, I have the admin access for what logging into this document, so that's why I'm able to kind of override the security and uh, allow to make changes into the security. If you want that you don't want to admin to override the security, then you can enable this, otherwise uncheck that. So it is recommended that you enable the admin override security so that admin can basically go in and do whatever settings that they want to do, and that's why you have made them admin. So these are all the security at a document level settings I wanted to discuss in this video. I'll meet you in the new video, the new topic.